Hey, my dears. Ever pondered why so many folks don't reach 85, even when they don't appear gravely sick? It's tempting to chalk it up to genes or random mishaps, but the reality is often far more nuanced and manageable. The gap between flourishing into your late 80s or beyond and fading sooner frequently hinges on subtle, overlooked errors, tiny habits, ignored patterns, and emotional oversights that gradually chip away at your vitality over the years. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or early 80s, you might be wondering, am I making a mistake somewhere? Or how can I tweak things to live not only longer, but with more zest? You're not alone in these reflections, and I'm here to assure you that the answers are significant. Most older adults aren't losing years to a single catastrophic incident. They're losing them to a slow, steady decline, a trickle of choices and neglect that accumulates until it's too late to turn back. Today, we're diving into 7 subtle mistakes that quietly block seniors from hitting 85, not the blatant ones like smoking or eating poorly, but the insidious emotional, psychological, and lifestyle habits that drain your energy without you even noticing. These aren't topics your doctor usually brings up during a visit, yet they're vital to your long-term health. More than that, this isn't about fear, it's about giving you the tools to take charge. With clear explanations, psychological perspectives, and simple, practical steps, you can begin right now to alter your path. No matter how old you are, it's never too late to pivot and add not just years to your life, but vibrancy to those years. Let's kick off with the first mistake. Emotional isolation that seems ordinary but is anything but safe. As we get older, many of us past 60 start to drift from others, not by choice but due to life's shifts. Perhaps a friend relocates, a loved one stops reaching out, or family visits taper off to just special occasions. Gradually, you get used to the silence, convincing yourself, I'm okay by myself, even though, deep down, you crave the sound of someone calling your name, or the sense of being valued. This type of isolation doesn't wave red flags. It's not as obvious as a physical injury, but it's just as harmful. Research shows that loneliness affects the brain profoundly, dulling mental clarity, boosting risks of depression and cognitive decline, and even harming your heart. It sparks stress hormones and inflammation, weakening your defenses as if you were in physical distress. The most alarming part, those who feel isolated often stop trying to connect, believing they'd be a nuisance or dreading rejection, so they stay quiet even when they're aching inside. I once met a man named Alan, 78, who used to have a lively home buzzing with kids, grandkids, and neighbors. After life's changes and losses, he stopped answering calls, not wanting to impose. When I stopped by, his fridge was nearly bare. His TV blared constantly, and he murmured, "This must be how it wraps up." That wasn't sadness, it was surrender, the kind that sneaks in when you feel overlooked. But here's the uplifting truth. Isolation isn't permanent. The second you take a small step, a phone call, a letter, a stroll with someone, your mind and body begin to recover. Connection is like a tonic, and studies revealed that the depth of your relationships, not the number, is what helps you live past 85. If you're alone or have lost loved ones, remember that rebuilding community is always possible. Local clubs, religious groups, or even online communities can be anchors. The trick is making that initial move, however tiny, because it's the greatest stride toward your well-being. Now, let's explore the second mistake, overlooking faint signs of inflammation. You might dismiss morning aches, mental haze, or swollen fingers as just aging, but these are often clues to chronic low-level inflammation, stealthy robber of long life. This isn't about obvious symptoms, it's a gradual process that harms your joints, blood vessels, and brain, accelerating conditions like heart disease or dementia. Many older adults confuse these signals with normal aging, but they're not inevitable. That lingering tiredness, foggy feeling, or puffy ankles isn't just a phase, it's your body crying for attention. Chronic inflammation stems from daily habits, processed snacks, ongoing stress, restless sleep, or even unhealed emotional wounds. Your body holds more than just food, it carries experiences, and decades of anxiety or sorrow can keep your immune system in overdrive, damaging your tissues. I knew Susan, 72, who felt like she was waking up in slow motion each day. Her hands were puffy, her energy sapped, and she assumed it was her age. But after swapping sugary treats, deli meats, and flavored creamers for anti-inflammatory foods like berries and olive oil, she felt sharper, lighter, and younger in weeks. Her joints hurt less, and she said, "I'm me again." You don't need a drastic diet change, just small tweaks like adding greens, walking 15 minutes a day, or breathing deeply can douse that inner flame. Your body is eager to heal. It just needs your support. The third mistake is assuming loneliness is no big deal. Many seniors shrugged it off, saying, "I'm used to being alone," but loneliness is as risky as smoking or high blood pressure. It doesn't always feel like sorrow. It can be filling hours with TV to mask the quiet, or feeling detached in a group. Over time, it erodes your mental acuity, emotional strength, and immune system. I met Harold, 79, who lived alone after losing his wife. He claimed he liked his solitude, read the news, and solved puzzles. But his blood pressure was rising, and colds were frequent. After joining a walking club and a weekly music session, his health improved, and he said, "I hadn't realized how much I missed laughing with others." It's not about crowds, it's about feeling seen, heard, and appreciated. Even one meaningful bond can keep your heart alive, directly boosting your health. The fourth mistake is ignoring sleep issues. Many older adults think 4 or 5 hours of sleep is fine, saying, "I don't need much rest anymore." But poor sleep isn't just aging, it's linked to heart trouble, memory lapses, high blood sugar, and falls. Sleep repairs your organs, balances hormones, and clears your mind. Grace, 81, napped all day and stayed up late with the TV to ease loneliness, but she was forgetful and unsteady. After avoiding caffeine past 2 p.m., dimming lights at night, and stretching before bed, she slept soundly and said, "My mind's back." Quality sleep, not just quantity, is key. The fifth mistake is overlooking emotional loneliness, which differs from physical solitude. You can be surrounded by people yet feel invisible, unheard, or unimportant. This quiet loneliness mimics dementia and shortens life. Harold, 77, lived in a lively retirement home but stayed in his room. When his granddaughter called weekly for his stories, he brightened, feeling valued again. Connection doesn't take much: a call, a hobby group, or volunteering, but it reminds you your presence counts. The sixth mistake is failing to address hidden inflammation. Aches, mental fog, or fatigue aren't just aged, they're often inflammation, quietly harming your heart, brain, and mood. Ellen, 69, was always tired with persistent back pain, thinking it was normal. Tests showed inflammation, and after adding greens, cutting sugar, and walking daily, she felt a decade younger. Simple changes like drinking water, eating berries, or getting morning sun can shift the balance. Finally, the seventh mistake is giving up on change. Many believe adapting stops mattering with age, but staying rigid shrinks your mind, body, and confidence. Carl, 82, a retired plumber, sat at home with the TV until his granddaughter taught him yoga and video calls with old friends. His posture improved, his spirits lifted, and he cooked again. Adapting doesn't erase your identity, keeps you alive in the world, whether through a new skill, group, or diet. The best predictor of a long life isn't flawless genes, staying mentally, emotionally, and socially engaged. Aging doesn't mean dimming. These mistakes aren't fate, they're habits you can adjust. Which one struck a chord, and what will you shift today? You're never too old, and your future is worth safeguarding. Share one takeaway and how you'll apply each or insights. Fuel us. Like, subscribe,